Welcome to episode 15, the big, fat, scary AI ethics episode. This is a really big topic, and it is tempting to rush headlong down the wide road of unbridled technological progress. The promises of AI are tantalizing. Drones are already being used for precision crop spraying, allowing targeted distribution of pesticides and fertilizers exactly where they're needed. This reduces waste and overspraying. Companies like Drone Seed are deploying fleets of drones to reforest areas after wildfires by firing seed missiles into the ground.
Each aircraft can plant 3/4 of an acre per flight.
The small robot company has created a trio of AI-powered robots called Tom, Dick, and Harry. Tom maps and scouts the field. Dick uses that data to precisely plant each seed individually at an optimal pattern. And Harry meticulously tends each plant's needs with targeted spraying as they grow.
The robot offers us a real chance to stop using artificial inputs, which goes towards our regenerative model of farming. There's a synergy between farmer and scientist.
And then that information being passed to Dick, who then goes out to the field to find the individual weeds that Tom has seen through his cameras, and then killing those with electricity.
This is our Tom V3 robot. He's now covering 2.5 hectares an hour, so 20 hectares in an 8-hour shift.
FarmWise has developed autonomous vegetable harvesters using AI to identify and selectively harvest ripe produce. Iron Ox has created an entire automated indoor hydroponic farm run by robots that can operate 24/7. The robots move plant trays, monitor conditions, and analyze plant data, identify issues, harvest crops within their controlled environment. These autonomous farming technologies could boost productivity while reducing the need for human labor. Fewer workers exposed to harsh conditions, pesticides, and heavy machinery. Less agrochemical runoff into waterways. More precise monitoring and targeted resource distribution to optimize growth.
Iron Ox is backed by Bill Gates' Breakthrough Energy Ventures, Crosslink Ventures, R7 Partners, ENIAC Ventures, Pathbreaker and IO Ventures, and Amplify Ventures. Total funding to date, $98 million.
Apparel manufacturing has long been an industry plagued by inefficiency, waste, and unethical labor practices. But AI and intelligent automation could help revolutionize how clothes are produced in more sustainable and ethical ways. Imagine a highly automated apparel microfactory staffed by intelligent robots and machines. Instead of bulk overproduction based on sales forecasts, these facilities would produce clothing on demand as orders come in from customers. This process might start with a customer ordering a custom outfit using a digital interface or getting 3D body scanned for the perfect fit. AI and computational design software could then automatically generate the precise patterns and instructions. On the microfactory floor, robotic machines would then print the fabric textiles with the custom patterns, leveraging sustainable digital printing technologies that use less water, dye, and chemicals than traditional methods. Automated intelligent cutting systems could ensure the fabric layouts make maximum use of the material. Robotic sewing systems would assemble the clothing pieces with precision stitching based on the digital instructions.
If you look at the sustainability dimensions of digital textile microfactories, then you can see that it has advantages because by producing only the things that you know that some consumer wants to buy, of course, you save lots of waste and lots of energy and resources.
AI quality control could inspect each garment during assembly to catch any defects.
The captured images are pre-processed and fed into the AI-based machine vision algorithm to detect fabric defects. Once a defect is identified, the wise eye will immediately alarm the weaving machine or factory's information system. Wise eye can detect about 40 common fabric defects. The detection rate is over 90%. We have successfully integrated AI, big data, and deep learning technologies into wise eye in an innovative way. This technological breakthrough not only meets the needs of the textile industry, but also marks a significant milestone in the automation of quality control.
Intelligent packing systems could bundle up the finished clothing for direct shipment to the customer. The distributed local microfactory model enabled by AI automation could produce far less waste than traditional bulk overproduction that generates tons of unsold clothing for landfills each year. It has the potential to bring more apparel manufacturing closer to end consumers, reducing environmental impacts of shipping while creating more local jobs. Though those jobs may look very different from today's labor-intensive factories. Companies like Adidas, Nike, Ministry of Supply, they're already experimenting with AI-assisted robotic knitting for custom shoes and clothing, while startups like Software Automation offer fully autonomous sew bots. AI is increasingly being used as a powerful tool in the fight against climate change across multiple fronts. Here are some key examples of how AI is being leveraged to better understand, mitigate, and adapt to our climate crisis. Prediction AI models can ingest vast amounts of climate data to identify patterns humans can't perceive and make predictive forecasts about future climate impacts and risks. This allows for the accurate projections to guide policy and preparedness. AI can also run complex simulations to test the potential effects of different emission reduction scenarios.
Real mitigation cannot happen without knowing where greenhouse gases are being emitted. Road transportation is a significant contributor. In the U.S., it accounts for 27% of our greenhouse gases. Measuring these emissions anywhere in the world is a huge challenge, one that the Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Laboratory is tackling head-on in its role in the Climate Trace Coalition. APL is the first to use machine learning and satellite data to attempt a global estimate of greenhouse gas emissions from road transportation. Our solution trains an artificial intelligence model to predict these emissions using Sentinel-2 imagery and road network data. To test the accuracy of the model, APL researchers compared its predictions to real-world measurements in areas across the United States. The model's predictions proved accurate, measuring within 39.5 kilograms carbon dioxide per 100 square meters. To enable near real-time processing of this data, a computer pipeline was built which can be run at a global scale. The result of APL's work will be a global map of road transportation emissions at a resolution of 100 square meters, producing more localized and actionable data. Currently, Climate Trace reports emissions from all sectors at the country level, and we are now targeting road transportation emissions for the largest cities around the world. This helps inform targeted policies while also generating big-picture data that can enable global action, leading to a brighter future and healthier planet.
Environmental monitoring computer vision AI analyzes satellite imagery and aerial photos to monitor deforestation, map biodiversity, track changes in ice caps and glaciers, and identify other ecosystem shifts. AI sensors track greenhouse gas levels, air quality, ocean temperatures, and other vital signs.
But first, I'm going to start by just motivating why I think things like environmental and specifically biodiversity monitoring are so important and are such impactful applications for us to work on as computer vision researchers. So first, just biodiversity is in catastrophic decline globally. This is biodiversity across the taxonomic tree, everything from, large-scale mammals, down to birds, down to insects, down to microbes, other types of vertebrates. This paper from 2015 actually also showed that not only are we seeing really severe reductions in species and species extinctions, for example, we're currently seeing extinction rates that are about as high as the last extinction of the dinosaurs. So we're basically living through what's being termed the 6th mass extinction of biodiversity. As a first pass to try to tackle this, last year we released the Auto Arborist dataset. This is a curated dataset that covers 23 cities across North America, 344 genera of trees. We decided to go to the genera level instead of the species level as a first pass.
Energy management AI optimizes the smart grid by predicting and balancing energy demands with renewable supply. It increases efficiency for utilities, industrial plants, and buildings. AI also aids development of improved energy storage, solar cells, wind turbines, and other clean technologies.
The smart home energy management system consists of 3 key components: smart devices, sensors, and an AI-powered control hub. These components work together seamlessly to create an intelligent and energy-efficient home environment. They collect real-time data and send it to the control hub for analysis. The control hub acts as the brain of the smart home energy management system. It uses artificial intelligence algorithms to analyze the data from the sensors and smart devices.
Climate resiliency AI risk assessment models help cities, businesses, and communities prepare for incoming extreme weather, sea level rise, drought, and other climate impacts. AI alone can't solve climate change. It provides powerful capabilities to everyone involved to make better choices. It helps decision makers to mitigate and make adaptation strategies going forward. In such a scenario, AI systems would become superintelligent, vastly outperforming humans across virtually all cognitive tasks. They could recursively redesign themselves to be more intelligent at an exponential rate we couldn't hope to match, which is terrifying, but also important in terms of climate change.
By identifying priorities, evaluating adaptation strategies, and promoting real stakeholder engagement. Climate risk analysis in sub-Saharan Africa found that climate change will reduce crop yields and the suitability of areas for crop production. Adaptation strategies can help to buffer some of these impacts. For example, early warning systems can predict hazards a couple of weeks before the harvest and help farmers to better prepare for them. While conservation agriculture and agroforestry can improve soil health and water savings. As climate change disproportionately affects women and marginalized groups, a strong collaboration between science and policy can strengthen climate resilience, food security, and gender equality.
Thomas Berry had a nuanced perspective on technology and its relationship to the natural world and human spiritual existence. On one hand, he recognized that the human venture itself emerged through our technological genius and creative capacities as a species. He wrote, "The human became the amazingly intelligent, spiritual, biological species that could invent ways for realizing some of the deepest mysteries of existence." However, Berry also issued stark warnings about how modern technologies, if not grounded in a spiritually informed ethics and reverence for the Earth community, could become highly destructive. He cautioned against what we termed technozoic societies, cultures so hypnotized by their technological inventions that all other modes of being are diminished or dismissed.
One of the important things about the emergent universe is that everything is genetically related to everything else. All life forms are cousins to every other life form because the cell, whether it's in an insect or whether it's in the leaf of a tree or whether it's in a bird's wing or in the human brain, all cells are so close, so identical in their composition that they had to emerge out of a common origin.
What would be the role and purpose of the human in this world? If machines automate all labor and services more efficiently, cost-effectively, and capably than we ever could, it's conceivable we would simply become obsolete, economically unnecessary, a relic of evolution rendered redundant by our own technological progress and economic desires.
I'm Professor Yuval Noah Harari. I'm a historian and a professor at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. One of the biggest things happening in the world right now is a shift in authority from humans to algorithms, to AI.
Because every previous information technology, it simply copied and disseminated our ideas. The printing press just produced more books. Television just broadcast our thoughts. Here we have something that can create entirely new ideas, which are not even bound by the limits of our imagination. You know, our imagination is the product of organic biochemistry. AI is not limited by that.
Some envision a dystopian future where the billions of displaced humans become essentially discarded by the ultra-wealthy who control the AI systems of production. A neo-feudal divide where most people live in abject poverty while few at the top enjoy lives of abundance and plenty. Others imagine a more utopian possibility where superintelligent AI ushers in an era of economic abundance by providing for all of humanity's needs. We would be freed from the drudgery of labor to pursue higher callings and creative intellectual endeavors, while AI workers take care of all production and services, a life of permanent leisure, starting from birth. In his seminal work, Man is Not Alone, Heschel cautioned that the tragedy begins when the technological passion prevails over spiritual sensitivity. He saw technical rationality and scientific advancement when divorced from wisdom, ethics, and a sense of the holy as a danger that could lead humanity into an abyss of spiritual poverty. Specifically regarding technology, Heschel stated, "Technical civilization is man's conquest of space. It is a manner of thinking, a coveted way of life. To enhance our power is the essence of this latter-day idolatry." He saw humanity's infatuation with technological power and control over nature as a form of idolatry that came at the cost of revering the divine mysteries inherent in creation. At the same time, Heschel didn't completely reject the role of technology when aligned with the spiritual teachings and human betterment. He simply advocated for striking a balance, writing, "The course of action for moral human beings must be neither a complete rejection of technological civilization nor a complete return to nature."
Yes, you see, that is true. No, but you see, one of the great sins of contemporary education is to give the impression you can solve all problems, or there are no problems. Actually, the greatness of man is that he faces problems. I would judge a person by how many deep problems he's concerned with.
But is not the quest of religion, though, to give one a sense of inner peace?
Now, you have to understand the meaning of inner peace. Let me give you first an example of a person who has no problems. Let me give you a dramatic, fictitious picture. Here stands a man, and I'll tell you this is a man who has no problems. Do you know why? He's an idiot. Because a man has problems. And the more complicated, the richer he is, the deeper are his problems. This is our distinction: to have problems, to face problems. Life is a challenge, not just a satisfaction. And the calamity of our time is to reduce life to pleasure only. I'm not against pleasure, but the greatness of life is experience and facing a challenge rather than just having satisfaction.
In an ideal version, AI acts as a complementary force multiplier for human intelligence. AI could automate the tedious, dangerous, or purely logical tasks while amplifying our creative, emotional, and entrepreneurial capacities. Imagine AI tutors that customize and optimize learning pathways for every student based on their individual needs, pace of learning, and proclivities. Or AI assistants that act as intellectual partners, providing data synthesis and analysis to enhance our decision-making capabilities. See episode 5 through 14. In the workplace, AI could take over the monotonous busywork and process-oriented drudgery while enabling humans to focus on higher-level strategy, creativity, human relationship management, and other capacities that AI cannot easily replicate. Corporations can build AI systems that respect and uphold core human rights principles around non-discrimination, privacy, freedom of expression, and due process. Microsoft has called for AI to be governed by human rights norms.
We need to ensure that as we empower computers, in effect, to make decisions that have always been made by human beings, that these are decisions that are made ethically. So you take something like facial recognition. You know, it can help identify criminals. It might find a lost child. But it has error rates.
I hear it doesn't work so well for people of color and women. That's a problem.
It is.
Yeah.
The error rates are higher, and so we and others are working to reduce the bias. We don't want to see this technology deployed before it's ready. We don't want to see it deployed in ways that might, for example, discourage people from going to a public space, expressing their views. It's important that there be rules of the road.
But it turns out when you absorb all of humanity's knowledge, what you get is, you guessed it, unbelievably racist.
Early scientific research has shown that the tech is biased by creating images that actually perpetuate stereotypes.
Rather than just reflecting stereotypes, it potentially accentuates them, exacerbates them.
When we prompted the technology to generate a photo of a person receiving social services, it generated only non-white and primarily darker-skinned people. Results for a productive person, meanwhile, were uniformly male, majority white, and dressed in suits for corporate jobs.
AI capabilities in areas like energy optimization, predictive maintenance, supply chain efficiency, and scientific breakthroughs could help corporations dramatically reduce their environmental footprints and fight climate change. Worker empowerment rather than displacing human workers, AI assistants could be developed to augment and empower people's skills and decision-making. AI-powered products from corporations could help address major societal challenges like accessible healthcare, food insecurity, quality education, and support for an aging population. Corporations can rigorously test their AI systems for bias and discrimination before deployment, while embracing algorithmic fairness, explainability, and accountability as core values. Aligning with human values by including diverse stakeholders and value perspectives beyond just shareholder profits, corporations can ensure their AI pursuits remain aligned with human ethics, safety considerations, and societal benefit.
There will be overall displacement in the labor market.
You can get the same work done with fewer people. That's just the nature of productivity.
So this is like productivity without the tax of more people.
Left completely to the market and to their own devices, these are fundamentally labor replacing tools.
The CEO of a company laid off 90% of its customer support staff after arguing that AI is kind of the reason. Why did you do this? It seemed a little brutal.
It's not, I think. It's brutal if you think as a human.
At his core, Thomas Merton was deeply concerned about the dehumanizing effects of a modern technological society. He saw it as increasingly mechanistic, utilitarian, and dominated by the plague of phantasm, a fixation on artificial constructs and pursuits devoid of spiritual or existential meaning. In his book, Conjectures of a Guilty Bystander, Thomas Merton warned, there is a pervasive form of contemporary violence, activism, and overwork. The rush and pressure of modern life are a form of violence. He viewed the frenetic pace and priorities of technological productivity as a violent assault on the human soul and interior life. Merton recognized that technology held beneficial potential when shaped by wisdom and guided by human value. However, he cautioned, as long as we have this blind impulse to conquer nature without understanding her, our science and technology will remain demonic powers.
That is to say, a world operating on a natural and balanced level, untrammeled and held captive by a technology and science which all but seem to have surpassed the control of its creators, and finally, and very frighteningly, run amok. His confrontation with an increasingly frenetic technologically advanced, albeit emotionally and spiritually bankrupt society, while a young man at Cambridge and Columbia universities, all culminate in his decision to enter what was still at the time a medievally structured Trappist monastery in rural Kentucky at the peak of the Second World War, a time when a good part of the planet literally felt that the entire world was coming apart at the seams.
The great risk at this point in time is that artificial intelligence becomes an arms race in which each country only focuses on its own context and see the other countries as competitors. AI might build bridges and connect people and countries, but at the same time could be the other way around. This is the debate that you should care about, because that's the debate that is shaping up our future with technology.
The immense data extraction and predictive capabilities of AI combined with growth incentives risk creating an ultra-pervasive surveillance capitalism, where our personal data is relentlessly mined and exploited for profit motives. While AI could help optimize energy use and resource allocation, the computing power and energy-intensive training of large AI models could contribute significantly to carbon emissions if not responsibly developed.
We don't know exactly how much power use, or carbon, can be attributed to AI. But we do have some good estimates. Creating a single AI program, or model, can gobble up more electricity in a year than 120 US homes, and put off more carbon emissions than 110 cars. Google uses as much electricity on its AI operations each year as all the homes in Atlanta. The big tech companies developing AI, like Google, Microsoft, and OpenAI, told us they have carbon neutral pledges and they're constantly working to make the models run more efficiently.
At the farthest end of AI risk scenarios, a corporate race for superintelligent AI systems that are misaligned with human ethics and values could potentially result in an existential catastrophe for humanity.
There's a big difference between asking a human to do something and giving that as the objective to an AI system. When you ask a human to fetch you a cup of coffee, you don't mean this should be their life's mission and nothing else in the universe matters. Even if they have to kill everybody else in Starbucks to get you the coffee before it closes, they should do that. No, that's not what you mean. Right? You mean all the other things that we mutually care about, they should factor into your behavior as well.
The existential threat to humanity itself, a future where we lose control of the systems we create, giving rise to a superintelligent adversary that strategically works against human interests and values. This could happen through an intelligence explosion, where an advanced AI system recursively redesigns itself to be exponentially more intelligent than its creator.
In all these senses, control over the AI system comes from the machine's uncertainty about what the true objective is. And it's when you build machines that believe with certainty that they have the objective, that's when you get the sort of psychopathic behavior. And I think we see the same thing in humans. What happens when general purpose AI hits the real economy? How do things change? Can we adapt?
This is known as the value alignment problem in AI ethics. Then there is the risk of an advanced AI's capability being weaponized by bad actors. A superintelligent system hacked or repurposed as an unstoppable force for destruction, subjugation, or optimization of human suffering. An AI arms race between nations could make this scenario increasingly likely.
If you hand over the management of your civilization to machines, you then lose the incentive to understand it yourself or to teach the next generation how to understand it. And you can see Wall-E actually as a modern version where everyone is enfeebled and infantilized by the machine. And that hasn't been possible up to now, right? We put a lot of our civilization into books, but the books can't run it for us. And so we always have to teach the next generation. If you work it out, it's about 1 trillion person years of teaching and learning and an unbroken chain that goes back tens of thousands of generations. What happens if that chain breaks? And I think that's something we have to understand as AI moves forward.
While often viewed as speculative or extreme, many renowned AI researchers, scientists, and philosophers have issued stark warnings that we must prioritize the AI alignment problem to ensure advanced systems remain controlled and they are aligned with human ethics and interests. Otherwise, our creation could become the catalyst for an intelligence explosion that leads to our extinction as a species.
What do you do with the mad that you feel? What do you do with the mad that you feel when you feel so mad you could bite? When the whole wide world seems oh so wrong, and nothing you do seems very right. What do you do? Do you punch a bag? Do you pound some clay or some dough? Do you round up friends for a game of tag or see how fast you go? It's great to be able to stop when you've planned a thing that's wrong and be able to do something else instead. I can stop when I want to, can stop when I wish, can stop, 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 anytime. And what a good feeling to feel like this. And know that the feeling is really mine. Know that there's something deep inside that helps us become what we can. For a girl can be someday a lady, and a boy can be someday a man.
There will always be helpers. Anybody who is coming into a place where there's a tragedy, just on the sidelines, always look for the helpers. If you look for the helpers, you'll know that there's hope.
This nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. Who taught you to hate the color of your skin? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose? Don't let anybody ever tell you that it's white or black. Christ belongs to all people.
In the midst of darkness, light persists.
For women, there is something really new.
When we see the Earth from space, we see ourselves as a whole. It is such a simple image.
The poorest of the poor are our brothers and sisters.
Tear down this wall.
Where human beings are being oppressed, there is more work to be done.
What is essential is invisible to the eye. Our whole world needs to work on ways to deal with anger. If we can be present to the moment with the person that we happen to be with at the moment, that's what's important.